Hello, greetings to you and welcome to this other lesson. In this lesson, we're going to cover the art of file organization in a computer. We're going to look at how our files are being organized in the computer, or in other words, how are files supposed to be organized in the computer. Remember that we have different file types in a computer. They range from documents, music, video, images, and a lot more. Now, we expect that each and every learner in this lesson should be able to have a basic understanding of a computer and how it functions. Learners are already supposed to be able to identify, I insist, identify major input devices like a mouse and keyboards. Now, let's have a quick recap of previous knowledge before we get into our lesson of today. We've said that a computer is an electronic device that accepts data, processes the data under set instructions, produce output with the possibility of storing the data. Now, we have said the computer has hardware components, software components, and the user. We have said hardware components are the parts of a computer that we can touch with our hands and feel it, while software components are the parts of the computer that we cannot touch physically. A user, therefore, is anybody who's sitting and operating a computer. Modern day computers are easy to use, we said, because it has a graphical user interface. A graphical user interface is made up of pointing device, icons, windows, and menus. These items makes it easy for anybody to be able to already click and use a computer. It requires just being able to click using the mouse that you'll be able to use the computer without any difficulty. We therefore expect that as of now, everybody should already be able to use a mouse and a basic input device like a keyboard. A good understanding of the functioning of these hardware components is vital. Remember that a mouse is made up of two buttons, one to the left and one to the right. A click on any of these buttons is referred to as a mouse click, or a left mouse click, or a right mouse click. Now, we recommend that you play games like Microsoft Solitaire or Zuma. This will permit you to gain a mastery of the proper mouse movement technique and also proper mouse clicks. On the other hand, a keyboard is a panel of keys used to operate a computer or to enter text into a computer. Now, the keys on a keyboard are divided into several groups based on their functions. These groups include alphanumeric keys, control keys, function keys, navigation keys, numeric keypad, and other standalone keys. Now, with this background, therefore, let's get into file organization. File organization refers to how our files are arranged in a computer for ease access and proper representation. Or in other words, how our files are supposed to be arranged in a computer for ease access and proper representation. To understand this at a basic level, just imagine you come back home and you ask a kid to bring a dining spoon. And imagine the kid rush to the toilet looking for a dining spoon in the toilet. Absurd, isn't it? Yes, it is. Spoons are not supposed to be kept in the toilet, and thus a child should not expect to find a spoon in the toilet. That is exactly how a computer operates, and files are supposed to be organized properly. We have various types of files, like earlier said. We have document or text files, we have audio files, we have video files, and we have images, among many other types of files. It is proper for us to have these files separated from each other and easy to locate. Now, among these 5 types, we still have variations that necessitate a further separation. And a good file organization arranges files in a logical sequence and by dates, and will enable us to know at a glance what our files represent. Now let's get onto RPC. Oh, look at it. You have files, you have folders, you have just anything, anywhere, just choked up. I mean, you will agree with me that with such a disorganized welcome screen, chances are high that we will have a poor experience working with our computer. Now we need to be able to organize these files, all of these icons that you're seeing on the desktop. We need to be able to organize it in our computer. To do this, we need a storage device to keep our files. All computers have storage devices known as hard drives. You can think of a hard drive as a computer's memory card. Hard drives are of different capacities, representing the quantity of files it can contain. For the purpose of this lesson, let's go ahead and create a virtual drive on our desktop. I will call this drive Esopha's drive. Now, how do we create a drive, or how do we create any folder on our desktop? Remember that a drive falls under the category of folder icons. Remember that we said everything in the computer is represented by an icon. It means that if we are saying there is something in the computer, it must be either a file icon, a folder icon, a program icon, or a shortcut icon. And so our drive will fall under the category of folder icons. I'll go ahead and right click on an empty space on my screen. I'll right click, I'll move my mouse down to hover over this new option. When I hover with my mouse over the new option, a drop down menu will appear. On the drop down menu, I have the possibility to have a new folder, a new shortcut, a new Microsoft Access database. These other ones down here are new types of files. I don't want to create any file. I want to create a folder. I'll click on folder. When I click on folder, a new folder is created. This new folder, I have the possibility of changing the name of this new folder, or I allow it with the default name, new folder. I want to change the new folder and give it a name, Esopha folder. I've changed the name, and the name is now Esopha folder. This Esopha folder now represents my virtual drive. This is my virtual drive, which in perspective can actually be my drive, either a hard drive, my memory card, my flash. Remember, we have a separate lesson on storage devices. But in this lesson, we are talking about file organization. I want to see how I can organize this chunk of files that we have on this desktop, how I can organize it in this my folder, which I now call Esopha folder, or I call it Esopha drive. Now, I call it Esopha drive. I want to organize this chunk of data we have on the desktop into this drive. How are we going to do that? Now, I'm going to enter into my drive by clicking twice, or I right click and take open. When my drive opens, I have a window. It's represented by a window. Remember that we already said that whenever anything is open on a computer, is represented by a window. We have this, our window that's open, and we can easily minimize, restore, or close. Now I'm going to come in the middle section of my window. I'll right click and take new again. This time around, I want to create a folder, but this folder is a subfolder, because it is a folder in a folder. I'll go ahead and do as I did on the desktop, but this time I'm doing it in a folder. So this folder, I'll select a folder. I will have to go ahead and create folders corresponding to my file types. Remember that we have said we have 4 basic file types: documents, music, video, and images. So I'm going to go ahead and create documents. I'll repeat the process in creating another folder, in which case I'll now call this audio, and then I'll go ahead and create another folder, which I will call video, and then I create the last folder, which I will call images. Now, I have 4 different folders here, corresponding to 4 different file types. By this, therefore, I can already pick all the items on my desktop. Secretarial materials is a document, so I'm going to pick drag and drop in documents. This one, Secret to Succeed in Exams, is a document. When you allow your mouse to rest on it, a brief description comes out telling you what that icon represents. This one represents is a document, and it is Secret to Succeed in any exam. I'll drag and drop in documents, and I'll do the same for all other documents that I can see. I can highlight many documents and carry at once. And how do we highlight? Remember, we're going to teach you highlighting techniques, but this time you can click and drag to highlight. This is another file here. This time this is an image. It's a JPG file. I'll carry it and drop it in images. Now this is a video. This is an image as well. This is an image. So I'll carry this image again and drop it in images. Now this, I'll allow my mouse again to rest there. I have MP4 file. An MP4 file is a video. So I'll carry it and drop in video. And then I'll do the same for all these other ones. This one as well is a video. I'll carry and drop in videos. That is how I will do, and I'll repeat that process for all the files I have on my desktop. I will carry, identify the file. Is it an audio, a video, or an image? As far as when I identify the file, I'll carry it and drop it in the corresponding folder. This is going to permit us at the end to have a folder that represents all our files that we had on the desktop. And this folder will permit us to be able to organize our file very well. Now these are videos. I'll pick the videos and drop here. This one is not a video. Look at it. I will allow my mouse to rest on it, and then we'll have a brief description. It tells you that it's a WAV file, WAV. A WAV file is an audio file. So I'll carry it and drop in audio. This one is a document. All these ones here are documents. I'll drag and drop in documents. These ones below here, I have documents here. I drag also and drop in documents. Remember, for you to drag and drop, we have advised that you should be able to use Solitaire. Play Solitaire. When you play Solitaire, you master the art of dragging and dropping. Dragging and dropping is a very important skill in using your mouse, because when you drag and drop, it permits you to be able to use the mouse well. Rather than highlighting and taking copy and paste, you can just drag and drop. And with drag and drop technique, it lets you go faster and it makes your work easier. Now, as I'm dragging and dropping, look at how my desktop is already becoming clear this time around. It's no longer as it was before. Now we are having our files being separated. The audio is different from the video. The videos are also different from images. Images are different. They're also away from our documents. So we can already know that if we are looking for a document, we can enter the documents folder. If we are looking for a video, we can enter the video folder. If we are looking for an audio, then we can go ahead and enter the audio folder. That is exactly what we are going to be doing. But this time around, let's finish clearing our desktop and arranging all our files into the respective folders that will permit us to organize our file very well. Right, now that we have all the items, all the files on our desktop cleared, and all of them are found in this drive, the Isofa drive. Everything is found in Isofa drive. And now let's open Isofa drive. I'm going to right click on this folder. This folder, when I right click on it, I'm going to select open. Remember, when you right click, you have many options that will come out. We said a right click is an options click, because when you right click on something, it gives you various options. Now, when I right click, I have different options. These options, the very first one is open. I'll go ahead and select open. When I select open, it will open my drive. My drive now contains 4 folders, or what I will call 4 subfolders. These folders include the audio folder, the documents folder, the images folder, and the video folder. Let's go ahead and check out our audio folder. I will open the audio folder by right clicking and selecting open again. When I open my audio folder, I have different types of audio. Now, look at these audio files. This other one is a gospel music. The second one is a gospel music. But this one is a Makusa. It's not a gospel music. This one, Kale, is Makusa, not also a gospel music. And if we go down, you see that We have, despite the fact that they are all audio files, we still have different genres of audio. We have different genres, different types of music. In this case, we still have to separate them. And what do? I'm going to go ahead and create another folder. I will right click on an empty space in this folder. When I right click, I'll take new folder again and I'll repeat the process. This folder, I will call it gospel to represent gospel music. And I'll create another folder and give it a name Makossa. Makossa to represent any other type of music that is found here, not being gospel. I'll now carry and drop. Traveling Love and the Solantine by Sergio Polo are all not gospel music. So I'll drag them and drop in Makossa. Snatch is a gospel music. So I'll drag these two and drop in gospel music. Now I have this other one, Pressing Commercial. Pressing Commercial is neither a gospel music nor a Makossa. This is an audio advert. What am I going to do? I'm going to create another folder. This time around, I'll right click again and take new folder. I'll give it a name now, adverts, such that when I enter, I know that I have audio adverts. Audio adverts, I'll now put them. Pressing Commercial will now go under audio adverts. Now, Mercy, Excess Love is a gospel music. I drag and drop. So I will do that for all the other soundtracks. I will identify it either as a gospel music or not a gospel music or an advert. And that is how I'm going to drag and drop corresponding to the folder that it represents. Now, that is already taking shape. This is taking shape. Look at it. It looks good, isn't it? We have cleared them again. So we have further divided our audio. We have further divided our audio into adverts, gospel, and Makossa. It means that we have 3 different types of audio in our computer or on our drive. Now let's enter. I will enter into adverts. Now when I enter adverts, I have just one file in adverts, and that file is Pressing Commercial. Now take note of the fact that all our files are supposed to have names that represent what they are. This is Pressing Commercial. Imagine if I change this name now to something else. I can change it and I put and I say I like Petit Pays so much, and I put Petit Pays there. It will no longer be the same thing. It will no longer help me, because it will now no longer help me subsequently when I come to access this file, because this file is supposed to be exactly the name of this file is supposed to be the name of what it contains. This is not a Petit Pays music, and so if I give the name Petit Pays there, it's wrong. It's not correct. So the name of this file is supposed to be Pressing Commercial. Pressing Commercial to represent a commercial I recorded for a pressing enterprise. Now I can go back, I can return, and I enter gospel. When I enter gospel music, you have the names of different gospel soundtracks. I have Snatch, I Know Who I Am. I have Snatch again, Waymaker. I have again, I Bow My Knee. I have Mercy, Chino, Excess Love, and so on. These are different soundtracks that we are having. But look at this. I'm having Daphne and My Lover and Calais appearing here. They are both not gospel soundtracks. So what am I going to do? I have to remove it from the gospel folder back to Makossa folder. I will highlight the two, right click and take cut. Cut will permit me to remove it from here. And when I go back into my audio folder and now paste it in Makossa. When I open Makossa now, I'll right click on an empty space and take paste. That will permit me therefore to have my music where it is supposed to be. If at any given moment I want to listen to a particular genre of music, it will not be difficult for me. Now let's close this window entirely and say we want to listen to gospel music. It will now no longer be difficult for us. We will now no longer have that our choked screen to go there and be selecting gospel music. We just need to enter into our drive. When we enter into our drive, we want to listen to gospel audio music. I will now enter into audio. When I enter audio, I have now gospel. I will now open gospel and I see my gospel audio soundtracks appear there, which I can listen to it without any difficulty. Now, let's go back again and enter into our text or into our documents and see what are the different types of documents that we have. Look at the documents that we have. I have PDF files, I have Excel files, I have Word documents, I have many types of documents here, and I can also arrange them. These documents represent different things. I can go ahead and create subfolders inside my documents folder that will permit me to be able now to arrange my files such that when I'm looking for something, it does not take me time. Now, when you look at this basics of a computer, that is a material. That's a material, it's a study material, which I can create a folder and I call it study materials. And I pick all my study materials, resource materials, documents that I use to study when I'm reading, I carry them and I drop in resource materials. And I do that for all my files that I have here. And that is how you arrange your files in the computer. And when you do that, you realize at the end that your files are looking good. And remember that your file should always have the name that it represents. When giving a name to a file, the name should be unique and should be explicit enough that just from the name you can tell the content of that file. So when you have a good naming system, from a good naming system, we now go to a good positioning system where we use folders and subfolders in order to position our files very well. That is it. Let's go back and enter our video files. You will notice that in our video files, we still have different types of video. This is our video folder. While it opens, in our video folder, we have study materials. We have videos that I've recorded. We have also movies, like I'm seeing My Love 1, My Love 2, My Love 3. Now, when you look at just the name, My Love 1, it tells you this is a movie and it is part 1. You see My Love 2, it tells you this is a movie and it is part 2. And you have My Love 3, it tells you this is a movie and it is part 3. So, the file name, you should have a good naming system and you should have a good positioning system. A good positioning system will permit you to access the location of your file easily, and a good naming system will permit you to access a particular file among other files without difficulties. Alright, okay. That is how we saw it in this other lesson. And remember that you can watch it over and over. We make it to sound very simple. We use the simplest terms that we can, and we simplify everything to make it in such a way that you can understand very well. Watch over and over until you have a mastery of the concepts explained. In our next lesson, we're going to look at computer software. That is where we are getting into the real issues. That is going to be the beginning of real business. Because we're going to talk about computer software. We're going to talk about what computer software is, of what importance is computer software in a computer, and how computer softwares function. It may interest you to know that the backbone of a computer, that means the spinal cord of a computer, is a piece of software. And most software these days are cloud-based. What does it mean to be a cloud-based software? We're going to cover all of this in our next lesson.